It has been a great ride with interviews with Monster Girls. I have to say, this was just a pleasant surprise that I've complimented time and time again. Who would have thought that we would get such a character-driven series in a setting that most would go for typical fan service? And the final episode for this series proves exactly how strong of a series this truly was. We have a swimsuit episode as the last episode, and a lot could argue last week's episode could have been the final episode as we focus on Sensei and his own struggles of if he's being too selective on who he's tutoring and who he's giving his attention to. I didn't review last week, I just didn't have the energy, I was completely exhausted. Fantastic episode, like that's the easiest way to put it. So you could argue that could have been the last episode and this could feel more like an OVA special, but I would say this is actually the best ending for the series. Last week's episode, as emotional and perfect as everyone comes together, every character's had their episode, everyone's had their development, this episode is complete carefree fun, but shows you how happy everyone is. Coming off of a pretty sad episode, it was happy by the end, but it was a fairly sad episode last week. Coming onto this week's episode, it carefree, we're gonna let Hikari swim with the friends in the pool, but she's a vampire, so sun and things like that is not something she can really handle, so Sensei is worried about that. So at the core, you would think, okay, we're gonna get that fan service episode, everyone's gonna get all hot and bothered, the kids are just gonna get their body pillows and dakimakras, and that's what they're gonna do. But there really wasn't fan service. If people are saying because they're in their bathing suits that's fan service, I think that's absurd. I mean, do you go to the beach and say, oh, this is fan service because everyone's in their bathing suits? No. There was a very few shots that you could say was focused in a sexual way. The most fan service, though, would be on Sensei himself and his muscular abs. Like, the way they focus on that, that's the most fan service in this episode. So, I mean, if you want to say someone had fan service, it would be the male teacher. And if so, hey, I mean, it's funny that they would go that route because all these other, like, Monster Girl series would just go the, oh, look at the vampire in the swimsuit and things like that. But they did something that was interesting. It didn't go in like too extreme, but we focused on Doulahan and how, her head couldn't be in water. That's probably where the whole mythological story came from, a head being washed down the stream, because if their head did get washed down a stream, they would probably die. And it's this sweet moment with the characters and them going underwater with the head taking turns. But it just feels like the perfect episode to end this series on because it's innocent fun, but shows you this isn't like all these other series. This isn't just a fan service series. This is a character-driven series. It had the cute comedic moments we love. It had the jokes. We had Sato seducting our sensei here and him just having to put on that face like, that's a nice swimsuit. In reality, he's head over heels. And to see like the guy in the tree just fall over because he's spying on them, like there was some great comedy. There was some great kind of just more moments learning about the individual Doulahans and just things like that. But it just to me felt like this is how we should go out. Everything's come together. There's no drama currently. Everyone's happy. Everyone's having fun. They're in the pool. They're having a good time. To see at the very end Hikari coming into school late and she's saying, didn't we meet each other at this exact same spot a while back? And you think they're gonna end it like, oh, just a sweet moment. They're reminiscing about the past. To then see Sensei say, can you sign the tardy list? Meaning that she was just late and this was a whole gag. It just felt like the perfect conclusion. This series, I think, was the most consistent, tied with Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Those two series, I think, are both anime of the season. I think they're both equally amazing, and I think both did amazing things that I think a lot of people may not have expected. I think this was just such a splendid series, a character-driven series. This could have ended like a few weeks back, but they just kept raising the bar with future episodes, and I just think it's impressive. If we get another season, I'm going to be watching, I'm going to be reviewing it. But if they never do another season, this is conclusive. There isn't more they have to do. Every character felt like they had their time to shine. Even, a couple of the side characters who you could say were just comedic gags, they felt like they had a purpose in their own way. I feel like this was just some of the most conclusive stuff we've seen in anime in a while, and if they make more, I'm going to be watching, but it would be perfectly fine if we end it here. But I'd be interested to hear, what did everyone think of the final episode of Interviews with Monster Girls? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you think it was just okay? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, and before you leave, hit that like button to show your support. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.